Now I believe, since we've actually defeated both of them, we should be able to get our reward now. If you skip the first demon wall, I think you can still fight it if you come back here later. Like, it's not going to ambush you if you go back through the door here if you haven't beaten it, I don't think at least. That activates the passage here. Also, I'm pretty sure that this thing right here, I think it's probably just a teleport back here from the... Yep. I'm guessing it's going to be, like, don't quote me on this because I haven't fully explored this place yet, but I'm guessing it's just going to be a teleport back here button. But if we cross over these steps into a place that I don't think I ever got to go in my first playthrough, because I never beat the first one. No, I keep saying that. I like the way they crumble to dust, though, especially with the other one, how the sand just kind of pours off the sides of the bridge. See, in my first playthrough, I know I keep saying that, but, you know, this is all about, you know, me finding things that are different to my first playthrough, but back then, I actually found the second demon wall to be quite a challenge. I don't know if I was under-leveled or if I just didn't know some of the strategies. I don't remember using Reflect very much when I first played, is the thing. Because I didn't know about that whole thing where a spell can only be reflected once, so if you reflect off of your own if you bounce something off your own reflect, then it actually can't be reflected again. And so that can pierce enemy reflection. Yeah, so here we are in the tomb itself. Seekers. I'm not even on Ash's weakness gambit, am I? And chances are these things are weak to earth, because Ash isn't doing anything. Guess that's the problem with Black Mage in this game. It has no earth elemental spells. So where are we? We're at Royal Passage. There's a certain area in the tomb where there's a rare game and you need to have a chain of 12 to find it. Oh, hi there, Tallow. Okay then, well, I'm already using Aqua, but I could have guessed from this thing's appearance that it would be weak to water. Yep, instantly down. I don't think Penelo should be on this gambit setup, though. Actually, no, I think it is one of the better ones that she has. Hi there. So if I'm remembering right, there are a lot of enemies inside this place that are weak to that are fire aligned and thus weak to water. Okay, there goes Ash's level. That thing's disabled, but it's going to be melted with my Aqua soon. Yeah, they really don't like water. A Thale of green liquid. Is this the... I don't know whether it is or not. I almost wonder whether it would actually be faster to arrow these things. Oh yeah, it looks like they can oil you. So enemies can use the oil-fire combo as well. Don't think Penelo has anything that can cure it. How many handkerchiefs do we have? 4. I guess we can wipe the oil off of Barsh. So is this our reward for the demon wall? Yes, it is. Okay, Scathe Mote. Scathe is the I believe it's like not elemental and pretty much the strongest black magic spell in the game. There is an arcane magic that is situationally stronger. And that's Ardor, which is a very, very powerful fire spell, which obviously, if the enemy is afflicted by oil, it does more damage. This is a good place to chain, actually. 10 chain. Though I don't think this is in the right area to spawn that rare game. So I wonder if once we get up to 12, maybe I can just avoid killing any other enemies. Well, we're going to kill the chain anyway. I don't think the rare game is nearby regardless, so it's probably not going to be that big a deal to kill our chain here. But, oh yes, so Scathe. The Scathe Mote is, what we get from that chest in Zodiac Age. And it's actually a bit of a downgrade from what, was in the original game, your reward for defeating the demon walls. Because in the original game, that chest, it was still randomized, but the chance was decently high and you could just save and reset if you didn't get it. could contain a sword called Demon's Bane, which was a very, very strong sword for this point in the game, and I really wish that was still the reward, because a Scathe Mode, just like a one-time use item that casts a spell, I don't know if that's anywhere near as cool as the original reward. I do like this though, like, again, it does remind me of some actual, like, I've been to Angkor Wat in real life. I've probably mentioned this on the channel before, as well as a few of the other temples around that area. Yes, we skipped this cutscene before by going to the secret part of this area first. These staircases just make me think of Hogwarts now, though.
Incredible. It wounds me to look on as they pillage so solemn a place.
Yet without help, you and I are as nothing. Is this not so? He thinks ever and always on his own profit. Assure him of it, and he shall remain true to our cause.
I do not share your Majesty's trust.
We will continue this later. Now we should concern ourselves with finding the Dawn Shard. It sleeps in waiting, somewhere deep within.
How can you be certain?
I can hear its call.
Well, that's kind of ominous. That music in that scene, though, I recognize that music too. It's another one of those songs that is like, oh, I remember that song now. Okay, let me guess. This is probably a map. Yep, there we go. You don't have to worry about, like, being a map perfectionist, because those, secret areas that you need to beat the first demon wall to get to don't even show up on the map anyway. Yeah, this map is definitely giving me a slight Zelda vibe. I remember this place giving me that kind of vibe in the original, but looking things up as well, I found out that, yes, the rare game that requires a chain of 12 is in this room, and apparently it's recommended that you use the Seekers for that. Don't really know if Penelo should be using her MP on casting Disable all the time. Another Seeker. Penelo attack it rather than do anything else. And it spawns like right in the center. If any of those Flan things appear, then I will probably have to turn my gambits off so I don't ruin my chain. Here's another one. Yeah, the whole reflect thing is something I never really did in my first playthrough. Speaking of which, reflect is one of those spells in Kingdom Hearts 2 that is really good, but I never use because it's kind of funny. I got into Kingdom Hearts through IGN's infamous review of Kingdom Hearts 2, the one where they said that you could get through the whole game just by mashing the X button. And like technically you can. It's just interesting. KH2. I've talked about this. I remember that I definitely talked about this back during while I'm fighting Seekers, I'm switching Ash's gambits over so she's not, you know, just needing to whack them with her staff. She's actually casting magic on them. But Kingdom Hearts 2 is a really strange game in that, like, its battle system is, especially in Final Mix, quite deep and, like, actually very complex. And in... oh, I should be Libering, shouldn't I? In speedruns, you get to use pretty much every, like, ability, summon, and spell in the entire game. But you wouldn't know that because, I suppose while I'm here, nothing here is going to use Disable, so I guess I can equip the Libra thing so I can see traps and enemy stats. You wouldn't really know that. Dispel. Does anybody here have the license for that, or is close to the license for that? Because that's a very, very useful ability. Fran can get it. I'll take that. That's going to be really, really good going forward. Don't know if it would have worked on the demon wall, but it probably would have. As I go to the other end to try and chain more of these bats, I can keep talking about this. Because, like, on the lower difficulties, if you're playing anything lower than level 1 critical, you don't need any of the stronger, like, or the more complicated, like, battle mechanics. You never really need to abuse the game's mechanics. It's not like, some of the Shin Megami Tensei games, where if you don't know exactly how to abuse the game's mechanics, you will die horribly. So, you actually are forced to learn those mechanics, but Kingdom Hearts 2, again, like, it's got a really good battle system, it's just that you never really need to learn said battle system. 11, one more, and I think our volunteer should be approaching. Where are you, Seeker? Just all the way down there. Yeah, that'll be easy. It looks like those fire flans only show up in, let's see if I can, like, blizzard you from this distance. Actually, blizzard doesn't do a lot to these things. 13 chain. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna head back and see if that rare game will show up. Yeah, there it is. The, Barmu. And according to the wiki, I think this thing is actually weak to wind. Oh, has a lot of health though. But at least Dark isn't really doing a lot, and yeah, it's immune to, I do wish there was a way to get people to stop, like, to have their Gambit stop working if they're immune to that status. Because as you can tell, many things are immune to Disable, because it's pretty much a complete cripple. Okay, Slow just missed, that means it can still work. And there it goes. Of course, it's guaranteed to kill your chain, but anything for getting something to show up in the rare game list. I'm guessing this is going to send us forward to the last area. No, we can still use this. I thought we'd have to activate some kind of... Oh. Okay, then. Okay, well, at least it's not one way. So I was wrong about what that device did. I'm very glad it's not one way. That would be incredibly annoying. But I don't think this one works, yeah. So I think we should head to one of the different... And in fact, I'm going to head to the south one first, because the north one has a rare game. We can't get to that one yet. The south one has a rare game that we can get to, or you know, rather, we can make spawn, except it's another annoying RNG thing. Basically, it's got like a... it's like got a... I think it's a... I think I might try the bottom one first. It's apparently got a 20... Like, there's an enemy that can use a Divide ability, and it has a 20% chance of spawning instead of a regular version of that enemy every time it uses Divide. Vanish. How does Vanish work in this game? Vanish. Render one ally invisible. Okay. I think it just stops them from being targeted by enemies. Yeah, let's put in Fran and have her use Cura. She's basically my... Like, she's acting like my white mage at this point, but that's kind of the point of red mages. They fill whatever magic role you need at any given time. I mean, I could have Fran in the party now, but yeah, the lower trio here need to level up. Yeah, Vanish was the source of a very interesting, it wasn't a glitch because it was technically a mechanic working as intended. They just didn't consider the implications for boss fights. Oh, hi there, trapped chest, kind of. Oh, there's no way I can actually take Vostor out of the party, so he's still a possible threat to activating this. Haste gun mode. Okay, good, didn't activate it. And that's where taking people out of your party might be an advantage, because it means they can't, you know, step on traps. But I was saying about Vanish, so I think it was in FF6 that they had this. Vanish made it so that physical attacks automatically miss you, but magical attacks automatically hit. And what that actually meant was that magic attacks automatically hitting bypassed even immunities. And what that meant was that if you cast Vanish on a boss, since we'll be facing those things, I think I'll actually switch Ash's Gambits over to using weaknesses. But if you cast Vanish on a boss, and very few bosses were coded to be immune to Vanish because it was considered a positive status, you could just use Death and it would instantly kill the boss, and it would bypass their instant death immunity. Oh, I remember these things. These are really freaky. There's just something about animals with human faces that is just kind of disturbing. Like, in general, that's why people were really creeped out by that one thing in Yokai Watch, which I think is actually based off a real yokai, but Lost Soul. It's not a rare game, is it? I don't think so. I think it's just a normal thing. Okay, Pinello's going for gravity here. So my mind keeps wandering because now with Lost Souls, I'm thinking about that one episode of The Simpsons where it's like, did I tell you they're all lost souls? And blinded. Okay then. Well, thankfully Pinello's curing that. Yeah, the Vanish Death or Vanish Doom in the original, it's confusing because Doom is normally something totally different in Final Fantasy, but in the original version of, the original, censored version of FF6, they called Death Doom because they couldn't say Death, because Nintendo censorship at the time. Oh, hi there. Oh, yeah, Liches. Okay, so, Liches. They have a divide ability, and that rare game, I think it's called Cult Sworn Lich, has a percentage chance of spawning when one of them divides instead of a regular Lich. Oh, they can also oil you. Yeah, pay attention to the enemies casting oil here. They might be trying to tell you something. Ash levels up, but I feel like it's appropriate to have Ash in the party for this whole area. I don't know if there's even a way to mass cure oil. So we lowered that platform, but I want to keep exploring this place anyway. More of those rolling human face things. But yeah, like there were a lot of bosses that you could choose that, and I think in the GBA version they actually made a boss immune to Vanish just to stop that tactic from working on it. Yeah, there are a lot of funny kind of programming quirks in a lot of games like that, because like again, like that is technically Vanish working as intended, it's just they didn't quite think things through and realize that, yeah, the magic automatically hits you aspects of it meant that... I mean, I'm not really sure it really should have, like, bypassed immunities. That seems like a bit much, but I guess, you know, that was where they coded it. And FF6 was also the game where, again, where physical evasion did nothing, because magic evade counted for both. I should probably set Ash to use Cure against Undead. You know what? I mean, it's going to blow through MP very, very quickly. And I just also realized something. Why haven't, at this point, I set Ash's, like, standard set gambits to, like, foe 3+ foes present arrow? 3 chests in a row here. I know none of them are traps. Well, I hope none of them are traps. Potion, heal, and we're aggroing onto this enemy because I have gambit set on for Barsh. And just guild, yeah, not really anything too major. I think we've already done the main thing we're supposed to do in this place, but I'm gonna keep going through it just because. Yeah, okay, Ash is actually using arrow now. And Barsha's level up. Good. So now Penello's the only one left. Well, actually, in that case, I should probably swap Barsh out, Vaan in. And now that Vaan's in, because he's like the only one who actually has Libra, he can Libra himself to get that on without having to waste an accessory slot. I do like these enemies, these sort of, you know, face things. I think the actual type of this thing is called Facer. I think I'll control Vaan for a bit now. Let's actually see what we can steal from these. Nope. I wonder when we'll have access to the Thief's Cuffs. Not really sure, but Thief's Cuffs are definitely a pretty good item to get. They basically double the chances of enemies dropping useful steel loot. Yeah, we seem to have quite a decent amount of magic defense. A lot of enemy AoE spells aren't doing a ton to us. And I guess this is sort of the way out. It kind of loops around back to the upper exit. Another one of these things. I am very curious to read their bestiary description. I want to find out what these things are. They're pretty disturbing. And I think they're not the only like enemy of this type as well. I'm sure more of them show up later. I mean, they are pretty much just a model swap of the cockatrices, but it's at least a little bit different than the axe beaks from before. Oh, more of these things. We're just putting on fast mode just because we've been through most of this this part. Ready's flash. Sometimes flash in these games actually does like something really dangerous. But there's an attack that you really want to watch out for. There's an attack called Blaster that I'm not looking forward to seeing at all. I think the enemies that use it only show up quite a bit later, and this dead end was totally pointless. But I do know those enemies, and they do kind of scare me. Not as much as a certain other Final Fantasy Classic enemy type that I'm also really not looking forward to fighting, because I know they're in this game, and I know they show up like much later. I know there's a particular variant of that enemy that doesn't, like, I'm being a bit coy here just so I don't spoil it for people who don't know, but there's a particular variant of that enemy that is just, yes, quite very nasty. Only shows up in like the second last dungeon though. And yes, with that, one of these teleporters is already active, so if I want to try and farm to see if I can make the Coltsworn Lich spawn, I can always teleport back with that. I don't even know if there's a save point at the end of this place. There probably is. By end, I mean before the boss. Because yes, those demon walls were not the main boss of this place. And here we are at the entrance to the northern part of this dungeon. I guess that Zelda thing, it's reminding me a little bit of the Arbiter's Grounds, but I'm pretty sure I played Twilight Princess after I played this. I don't even know what Zelda I was playing at this time. Oh, okay. They look like, yep, just bog standard zombies. Not even like a different name or anything. Just bog standard zombies. Wow, they even have like maggots on them. That's really creepy. You don't often see that level of detail on zombie type enemies. Yeah, I thought Ash would be hitting 20 soon. Okay, let's just finish off this thing and then I can swap, I think, Fran to the party for my caster. That'll make the undead fights go a lot faster. Something that I won't really... That also kind of rhymed. Something that I won't really want, though, for, yeah, for later. Because I would kind of like to try and spawn that Lich thing. Yeah, they really do have maggots on them. That's disturbing. they using some kind of fire breath or something? Strip of foul flesh, even more disturbing, though not uses a dark mode. I guess they can just use items like that. Yeah, Fran, are you even on like the right Gambit set? No, you're on that one, okay. Yeah, this should be better, though it's not going to be casting Arrow as much. Doesn't look like these things are, like, absorbing thunder or anything. They can cast thunder, so you'd normally think that they would be, that they wouldn't really, they would absorb that, but actually, no, it seems. Nice multi-attack there, Vossler. And let me take this. Flame Staff. Well, yeah, that one's a little bit more obvious than the Cherry Staff and what it does, which, boosts, I don't even have the license for it, those staves 3, boosts the effects of fire magic. Thing is, though, might not actually be the best idea to do that here. I want to kind of group them together before Fran goes for Cura, but oh well. And nice kill there. We got kind of a synchronized hit and cure there at the same time. Passing poison. They just use a bunch of different spells, though thankfully not fire. Because a bunch of us are oiled right now. Just try not to think of that one character from Street Fighter with the oil gimmick, who I don't think was ever particularly popular. It was kind of an interesting idea for a fighting game character, though, I will admit. Okay, now this is a great time to use Cura. Even then, though, it's only doing like 400 or so to these things. I almost wonder if Arrow will do more. I'll probably try that out the next time we fight them. Of course, next time we're going to be fighting the face chickens. The face chickens. That's a great way to describe them. Lesser spotted face chicken. Yeah, more evidence here of why sap is not really the greatest. Like as I've said before, sap is horrifying when it's used against you, but against enemies, their HP is just so high that like losing HP per second is really no threat to them at all. So yeah, now I'm gonna test this out. How much does Arrow do? And I'm gonna hold Varn back a bit. Oh, about the same as Cura. That's interesting. That weird, like, I hear like a kind of a weird grunting noise when those things... Is it the zombies that are making that noise, or is it us getting hit? I'm not sure, but whatever it is creepy. I do like the sort of foreboding atmosphere this place is. Like, you often have these kind of sort of dungeons, but it's kind of rare that you... No, it's very, very low on stuff. I don't think anyone can use the soldier's cap right now. Oh, wait, no, we already have them. I'm stupid. How close is she to leveling up? Quite far. I guess I can take her out of the party for now. And hey, let's use the pirate trio here. And I'll play as Fran, I guess. And we have the teleporter here, so that probably means that we have the thing we need to activate. Luminous Crimson Jewel. It's like, notice the name of that other jewel was kind of interesting. It was like Berry something. Okay. So now we can actually go down. I'm not even, like, paying attention to what's going on right here. And that'll probably teleport us back to the beginning. So we can actually head down here now. To somewhere we haven't been yet. This is like a third door. mean, the map perfectionist in me is annoyed, but I don't know if there would be anything particularly interesting up that other direction, so I can probably afford to go through here. So where does this lead? Okay. I know what this place is.
Fog? Underground?
Not fog. Mist.
You can see the mist with your eyes?
Where it is thick enough, you may. The nether runs deep in this place.
So, is the mist dangerous?
Yes, but it is also an aid. A dense mist allows the working of powerful magics.
I'll keep that in mind. Can't count on Vaughn to keep track of these things. That's for sure.
I would say he's not really a caster, so it doesn't matter to him, and then I realized, well, he actually does have, like, the highest magic of the male party members. Yeah, we're in this area now. Okay, so we're not quite in the really, I wouldn't say really, really dangerous, because I'm actually not worried about the upcoming boss at all. But I was more just worried about running into it when I wasn't ready, because I do want to use some things against that fight. I'm looking forward to actually doing that fight too, because it's something pretty special. I like those sort of faces there. There are no, like, enemies around here either. That's kind of eerily disturbing. Also, there's, like, Okay, I'm gonna just try and go to the center of this place, because I have a suspicion that if there are those, like, little doorways that lead to nowhere, that lead to somewhere not on our map, then my guess is that the way forward is going to be blocked. Blood Sword? Finally, I'm not really focusing on any licenses that, on any classes that can really use swords. Blood Sword, Sap. It's weaker than the dagger we currently have. I feel like there was an FF game where there was a Blood Sword that was really good somehow. Or, like, Bravely. It actually is here. Okay, right, not doing that yet. Huh, I thought there would have been a save crystal before it, but I guess not. So yeah, that thing, I think, is the boss of this dungeon. The real, like, major boss of this dungeon. And I'm gonna check out these, I don't even know what's through these side doors. Yeah, now I know why there are no other enemies in that room. And this is... Oh, wait, no, that's just the other way to get in here. I'm dumb, of course. It's just, those are the ways in and out of that room. I have Ash in the lead here. I have Bolthier for his aqua bullets, and also Barsh because, you know, he's Ash's bodyguard. And if you, basically, for this. So, from what I remember, this is going to be a very, very fire-based boss. If anybody has oil status, cure it now. Also, you might want handkerchiefs, because I seem to remember this guy being able to use oil on you. And if you somehow have any items that resist fire, now is a good time to equip them. And also, if you have, like, any weapons that raise the power of water, that's also useful. Something that I just wanted to kind of quickly show, though, is that, like, Voslar's attack power is really low. I guess that's just to make sure you're not relying too much on guests. But anyway... I'm gonna save my LP for now. Oh, I've been looking forward to this so much. Belias the Gigas, representing the star sign of Aries, I believe. Well, he doesn't even have his gambits on. Water definitely does a number on this guy, though. Greater barrier, okay. That would be protect, shell, and reducing damage. And here is his ultimate move, Fire-Aja. That's high. I think that has a chance of oil. I didn't actually see it inflict oil there, but yeah, it's pretty massive fire damage to everyone. And he's down. Not very difficult if you have his water weakness, but still, this music is so epic. And the first time I got to this point, I really didn't see this coming at all. Defeating this boss is special. That was our first Esper.
In vain glory they arose, shouting challenges at the gods, but prevail they did not. Their doom it was to walk the mist until time's end. A legend of the Nemo.
My family tells a story of the Dynast King and an Esper. The story goes that in his youth, the Dynast King defeated a mighty Gigas, for which the gods took heed of him. Thereafter, it was ever bound to him in thraldom.
So, all this time it's been here guarding the Dynast King's treasure?
Not so. The Esper is the Dynast King's treasure.
That's your treasure?
In this Esper we now command rests a power whose worth is beyond any measure.
Is that so? Call me old-fashioned, but I was hoping for a treasure whose worth we could measure.